Welcome to Ladies in Production podcast, where we talk about animation and VFX production through the female lens.
Welcome to Lipp! Hi, Krystal!
I was looking at Savanna. She was so sweet.
Hey everyone, welcome to Lipp. This is the first time the five of us are in a room together, and we got Krystal on Zoom from New Zealand.
Yay.
We're so excited. We haven't had the whole gang in a while.
Poor Krystal up at what, 7 a.m.?
Oh, I was up way earlier.
Poor thing.
Aww.
She is a trooper.
I gotta get ready.
She's a
It's
trooper.
fine.
So, Krystal, you were talking to us about potentially shipping some cases of wine for us to
Yes.
enjoy.
Sample.
To sample, and you're saying, my opinion of rosé is that it is like the white boy summer drink, and I love it, and I felt like,
White girl.
White girl.
I was like, yeah.
Well,
White day.
White day.
But I think of it as being my party girl, whatever. I don't know what I'm drinking,
Your
so I'll
Santa
drink
Barbara.
rosé. Yeah, my Santa Barbara time.
There's music that's rosé now.
Like
does that mean?
Really genre.
chill.
Oh,
Chill.
That's
it's
me.
called-
That's me.
I think it's called like Rose Wave or
Rose Wave.
Oh.
yeah.
You know what always sounded but so
No. Come back.
so
No, rosé is awesome.
and so they grow all the different kinds of wine, grapes and stuff, and produce all those different types of wines over there
New
Yes.
Zealand.
in New Zealand.
All kinds, because the climate is so good for
Oh.
all.
It's like California.
arid. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you
And
ever
good
know?
soil.
They can make big reds and they can make Chardonnays.
What about
Big
little
reds.
reds?
Light reds.
Light red, like Norn was saying.
Pinots.
And it's all soil based, right? So, I'm gonna pretend like I know. And
What means
What do you mean?
Yes.
Is it like when there's
Soil-based.
volcanic ash in the soil?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Now that
Imagine if the grapes are grown in volcanic soil. I'm not the expert clearly, and I'm sure Kate's going crazy listening to me try to
She's
explain
like,
this.
Sorry.
It's like the sea, the soil by the sea will create grapes
Soil
that
by the
it's a bit
sea.
briny.
Ooh.
That sounds like
Briny?
a good
Like
brand.
chicken
Yeah.
brine?
Salty.
You can
Like
expect
fish
a bit
brine.
of like a sea flavor from
Whoa! Send us some of that.
Well,
Send us
yeah,
some
I
of that
wanna try
Hawke's
this.
Bay
Soil by the sea.
I know.
ocean
Are they-
flavored wine.
Is New Zealand
Fish
more
flavored.
sophisticated with their wine? Like they know their wine rather than here it's just like.
Or is it kind of like the Bay where it's like a wine country?
California's kind of sophisticated. They beat France.
Yeah.
Really?
It's like now.
Yeah.
Really?
But I don't know anything about
You
wine.
need
Yeah.
to watch that movie, Bottle Shock. Wait, has Kate seen Bottle Shock?
Have you
Wait.
seen about yes.
Oh, you guys need to watch it.
What is Bottle Shock?
It's about how California's wines beat France's wine in a taste test.
Okay, we gotta watch
And it's
that.
true.
And that's why we're the fifth largest.
And then we
economy.
have a discussion about it on the podcast.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
All right.
Yes,
well,
Every
and
episode.
Alan
discuss
Rickman
it.
is in it, and Alan Rickman is wonderful.
Oh, I love Alan Rickman.
And
Wait.
Chris Pine is in it with a terrible wig, but it's okay.
Can we also talk about Norn's mittens? Like,
Oh, right.
the fact that
Yes.
they're in person.
We brought 'em
in
back.
The flesh. In the flesh.
The adorable.
This is because I'm too loud.
Yeah, it's because of her hand banging.
She's very enthusiastic with her table.
Yeah, and clapping.
And I got these like anonymously on Valentine's Day.
yeah, from
and I-
all of us.
And I didn't know who it was from, and I thought, oh, I have an admirer.
that knows exactly you would want Totoro mittens.
Yes.
And then it turned. So somebody said Mariel bought them for you. Or
It was all of us.
all of us,
And
yeah.
I was like, oh, thank you, Mariel. And then they're like, no, it wasn't just Mariel.
Mariel and everyone else.
Mariel's giving a hint.
Just
No.
because it's Totoro doesn't
Like
mean
a
it's
random
from the
deodorant.
Asian girl.
Wait, somebody ordered these.
I did.
She did.
I actually
Oh,
got
really?
it. I know you, Nord. I know you, Nord. I was like, we gotta get
She
Totoro.
selected this, and
I
she was like,
selected those.
"What do you think?" I'm like, "We're paying for it."
And
too."
Crystal's like,
love
done.
Add to cart. Add to cart.
Thank
So,
you.
speaking of Totoro, so today's topic is actually kind of something my mom brought up to me. She wanted to hear from us about, more personal things about us and kind of like things we were passionate and interested in at different parts of our adolescence. So we're just gonna talk about what we were passionate about or important to us when we were 8 years old, elementary school, 15, high school, and then early 20s, college time, coming of age. I'm just saying Totoro is kind of like, some of us, it was like animation, movies, that's all I was into when I was 8. Or for me, It was dolls.
You go first.
I'll go first. And then we want to make sure to get Krystal in
and then
too.
Krystal.
But so I guess I could do my 3, and then we can all kind of just talk about each of our 3. So when I was 8, I was obsessed with Barbie dolls, American Girl dolls. I was like the only kid left, or girl or child left playing dolls. Obsessed. My mom bought me all the clothes, all of everything. When I was 15, it was high school. My focus was like friend groups, socializing, like going out, going to friends' houses. It was just all about connection.
Yeah.
And then in my early 20s, when I was in college, I found Program Board, which was like the student government that did all of the concerts and film screenings and like all of like, it was my early production training for like live events. And that was just like, I was obsessed for 2 years with this group of people and like what we were doing together, and my friends from like the dorms and everyone was just like, you abandoned us for Program Board, because it was like my passion, and it was kind of like the first career-oriented thing that I was really into. So those are mine. And I mean, I also was interested because we're all so different. Like we have tomboys here, we have girly girls, and just like, what are the different things that we were interested in at those different ages?
Yeah.
Krystal, what do you think? I feel like you and I are pretty different. So,
No Barbies.
Very.
And coming from pretty much the same area.
Southern California.
Almost. Yeah, Southern California, but very different experiences. I mean, I was obsessed with animation for sure.
Anime or animation?
At 8 years old?
At 8, I didn't know about anime specifically. I didn't start watching anime until like Toonami when I was in high school or something. So I didn't, until Cartoon Network brought that over, I didn't know about it. So it was all Disney basically, or like the Fox ones, the Don Bluth ones. You know, we talked about Anastasia. And all
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Mariel's favorite.
I love
I'm
Anastasia.
surprised that we all like it.
Yeah, no,
I
it's
saw
a
it
good
because
one.
of you and I loved it.
I saw it because of them.
You should watch it.
Yeah.
You
should watch it.
Yes,
I think you would like
I
it.
never liked the princess movies.
It's not. That's why.
No.
That's why we probably love it, because it's not princess.
There's a dark humor too that I think you'll like.
You wouldn't like dark humor.
She's wearing a trench coat during
These two.
We're like the twins. The twins too. Oh my god. Okay.
More like she's like almost a homeless person, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the polar opposite.
Yeah.
So,
It's
Krystal,
great.
when you were 8, you were
great.
just watching a lot of movies. Were you starting to draw too, and like making your own?
So I did a lot of tracing. So I would trace in like Lion King coloring books and stuff.
Yes.
Like that. I would trace like Looney Tunes. I was obsessed with drawing like Daffy Duck's bill.
Oh yeah! Oh my God! Gaping maws, Krystal. That's where it all began.
I would
Gaping maws.
draw Tweety Bird, or what is it?
Tweety's the yellow one.
Yeah, the yellow one all the time. The Looney Tunes, yeah.
So then, what about when
Yeah.
you were in high school? What did that shift into? Because I know you're a music person.
It was more, if we're talking about interest, it was more music, music based, because I kind of switched and I was just in every single band possible. I was in concert marching.
What was your favorite
jazz.
band at that point?
You mean to listen to?
Yeah.
I was very angry, so
Say it again.
I don't.
She
At
was
that
angry.
time, probably Linkin Park.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Wait, so
Oh my God!
that's amazing.
That's so angry.
I thought you were gonna say like, what is it called? Slipknot?
Oh, you felt like angry.
Yeah.
angry because
Or
Linkin Park
the
is
Slipknot.
like pop. It's like kind of in between.
Yeah.
I feel like there was like when it originally, probably when Krystal was living, was like before they got big, and it was
Yeah.
like it wasn't as like trendy to like them,
That's
and then
true.
like they came a little bit more
Indiana.
mainstream.
Yeah.
And then all like the noobs like Savanna was like, yeah, I love this. I'm angry.
It was like Savanna. Wait, so what instrument did you play?
Oh, I was a drummer. I am a drummer.
Oh.
Wait, and you did marching band, like jazz band, like
What did
cool
you do for
kids
marching
in a band?
It's really sexy when you drum, Krystal.
I've never seen it. I
You've
wanna
seen
see
it?
that. When?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I've seen videos,
Kate is
YouTube.
like
Oh, videos, videos.
Share it with
Yeah, I
us.
didn't know you
see?
played drums.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah. I mean, I've had couple of recorded albums with bands in town.
What
And
the?
then-
Wow.
Wait, in New Zealand or here in LA?
In
In
LA.
LA.
She's talking about when she was a kid or in high school.
Wow.
And,
Yeah.
wait, and also Krystal played guitar for me a few times.
Well, and Krystal has her guitar
Exclusive
collection.
here.
Yeah.
Wow.
You played that Lady Gaga song, the Shallow,
Oh, the.
Oh.
That's actually.
how romantic.
and also Krystal sang.
Oh,
You sing?
you sing?
Did you guys have a date? What's going on?
No, we were just hanging out.
Like,
Sorry, Kate.
I wasn't singing.
yeah, can we
I wasn't singing.
also we should just mention that Krystal's the one who did the music for our podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
Our
I don't
opening
know if people
song.
know
Yeah,
that.
my son loves it.
I love it.
We
all love
We're
it.
obsessed with it.
I love listening to it.
It's so catchy.
So
Yeah, it's
did
catchy.
music trail on into your early 20s as your passion when you started? Because I know you started your career pretty young.
Yeah, like right out of high school, I was like, I need a job. I need to get out of my town. I need to just get away.
Palm Desert.
Yeah, Palm Desert. Nothing against Palm Desert. I'm just not interested in, like it's the same. You've always grown up with it, and I wanted to live
Yeah,
in
you
LA.
wanted-
I wanted to be closer to whatever it was that I was going to get into, which at that time I decided to go into animation instead of music because even the best musicians that I knew weren't really living the kind of they weren't making very much money, and I just felt
Tough.
like it was just so competitive, and the skill wise, the best people I knew were just not making any money. So I decided that music was just going to be a hobby of mine.
Yeah.
It's very
At that
practical.
point. Yeah, I was
Very practical.
Very practical.
Very practical entering the film industry.
Yeah, right.
Very practical.
More so than music.
But so what were your passions? Would you say animation in your career became your passion in your early 20s, or were there other things going on?
No, I
what
would
was
say
your
that's
focus?
it was film. It was, just like I watched with my friend Monica. We were like college roommates, and we're just into the same kind of animation and movies, and we would watch the weirdest avant-garde shit.
I love it.
She was your college Norn. Your
Were
movie
you
buddy.
you were like the artsy.
Yeah, you
artsy,
watched
like
the artsy.
weird stuff. Yeah, like
brooding artist.
What was that horrible horror Japanese movie we watched?
oh, Houseu?
Yeah.
Wait, which one?
Houseu.
And by horrible, you mean wonderful.
It was wonderful. Yes, it was wonderful.
Or horrifying, possibly.
It was wonderful.
It's not even horrifying. It's just
It's,
wacky.
it's ridiculous.
Is it one of those
It's
like
ridiculous.
really horrible movies that are fun?
Yeah, it's a cult movie.
Oh.
It's more like Tim and Eric style editing. It's wild. It's like just silliness.
Well, he just threw everything he knew at the screen, I feel like, the director.
Yeah, he did. And I watched a thing the other day about him. He basically asked his daughter, who's a small child, what she would say in a horror movie, right? And he basically did plot.
And he took notes.
Oh my god.
Wow.
It looks like it's made by a child.
That's
sometimes.
yes.
Oh gosh.
Yes.
All right, so
But anyway,
so that's when you
that's
went
what
into
I
your
went to.
film deep dive.
Yeah, and then getting a job. That was like my main focus, like
Yeah.
studying and then getting a job. So yeah.
And you knew the job was going to be animation, but did you also did you know it was going to be the character modeling that you do now? No, because you
No.
said you started in 2D, right?
Yeah, I thought I would be 2D drawing, but instead, everybody was laid off at Disney at that time. And they were all
Not me, my dad.
There was a there was
Yeah.
kind of like a revolution between 2D and 3D at that point, right?
It was like 2004.
Yeah, it was the
And then,
shift, right, to what we see now.
Yeah, I got into
Toy
3D
Story.
at that point. Yeah, Toy Story, and then I got into 3D, and I was like, well, I think this is where the future is. And then I went to Noman, and that's where.
No,
no.
Noman's such a good school.
Yeah, I'm really thankful I went there.
That's where I want my
So-
son to go.
Well, your son is 11.
Yes.
He has his interests right now.
yeah.
Are any of them aligned with your interests when you were, in his age range?
Well, I don't know if he ever put Barbie and Ken in a hot tub and like hoped that they would do it and have affairs and stuff.
When you were 8?
Wait, so
Have
you
a little
do
baby?
stories?
Honestly, I did
With
that
Barbies?
too.
'Cause I
Actually, the storylines were like really. I don't know. Like I'm thinking like, what the fuck was I doing?
It's all soap operas.
That's what I was
yeah,
with my girls. It would be
yeah,
like
yeah.
packing for a trip or like the twins.
Mine
and
would be
this
having
happening.
affairs.
Would be
Mine would be
having
feeling boyfriends.
They're talking about having
Oh,
their Barbies
well,
having sex.
We're talking about them having
A story.
a story. That's what I'm saying. Mine is like
Mine's like
was
she
always
cheated on her
stories, and
and
theirs are like
Yeah, see, we would have play Barbies
Soap
well
opera
together.
over there.
Yeah.
Mine were having affairs and stuff.
Yeah.
That was at
So
8.
you were into dolls too.
Yeah,
At that age.
like you.
Yeah.
And then when I was 15,
Yeah.
I was angry, like Krystal.
You like Linkin Park too?
No,
What did you
I'm
do?
a bit older than you guys. I liked 9 Inch Nails. So,
Yeah.
so I listened to Downward Spiral on a loop.
Oh my gosh.
And I also got into independent movies. So just like Krystal, just like watching, like, you know, the Blockbuster was right down the street. I had no social life, so I just went to the Blockbuster all the time and rented a bunch of movies and watched a bunch of independent weird movies.
How would you pick?
Norn loved going to Blockbuster so much.
I miss Blockbuster.
I
I went to the one oh go ahead.
Oh, well, I used to watch Siskel and Ebert. I don't know if anybody
Oh
remembers
yeah.
that.
You would watch
Yeah.
the reviews?
I would watch every Sunday night at
That's
6:30.
amazing.
Siskel and Ebert, and they always had these weird foreign movies,
Oh,
and I
okay.
watched all of them. And
So that's how you find them.
That's how I found
you just
them.
walk around
Blockbuster.
Blockbuster.
Oh no, I
Find them?
didn't know. And back then, and we also had our neighborhood
Video store?
and there was always like the porn in the back.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
With the curtains.
The
Right.
curtain. There was always like the creepy guys like sneaking into. This is before porn was on like on the web. So yeah, I never went back there, but my
But
dad
I wanted to.
But well, my
But
dad
you
had them
wanted
hid.
to.
My dad had them hidden all over the house. I mean,
Oh my God.
I'm sure everybody else's dad and my brother had them hidden all
If
over.
he did, I never knew.
Oh, I found. I
don't
saw
think
them.
Norn, what do you mean all over the house, like in cereal boxes and stuff?
Yeah, like did you find them?
yeah,
Is that
how did you
how-
find them?
Is that how you
I found them like in the chimney.
What? Why were you in the chimney?
No, I mean it was just because there was never a fire in there.
So you were just like, hey,
They were just like
what are we
duct
hiding in
taped in
here?
the chimney?
Oh my
They were
God.
just in there. I don't know.
Oh
Or they
my
would have like a different
gosh.
box.
Maybe you were trying to hide something there.
Yeah,
You're
that's what was going on. Norm was fun.
I'm a snoop, so
yeah.
I'm just.
And
like,
and you obviously knew what it was if you found it.
I watched a couple of them. I mean, they were weird. They were really gross. I mean, there was no production value.
Is that where you got
She knew early on.
And,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Like, the lighting is so gross.
It was disgusting.
Yeah,
And like the
lighting is-
actors were like, ugh, it was so
Yeah.
gross. It was definitely like, I don't know, somebody's parents doing
So,
it.
so you were watching those videos.
No,
and
only a little
then-
bit. And then in my 20s, I was a late bloomer, so I didn't have a boyfriend until
Same.
I was like
Yeah.
19. And so I was having sex in my 20s.
So it was boyfriend.
And that's all.
That's all, folks.
Just you're living your Barbie's dreams out.
Yeah,
right?
she's living Barbie dream life.
In the tub.
Oh,
In the tub.
no. That's inconvenient. No, I just, I think I also had a job, so I was trying to like, be good at my job.
But it,
Yeah.
but it might have been like boyfriend. It was the first time you had a boyfriend in a relationship, and that was kind of your central focus.
Yeah, and all I knew about from boyfriends were like soap operas and like it was so sad.
Were you
But it
doing
was-
anything creative though in your 20s? Like early
yeah.
20s? Like
Oh yeah, I was like an angry painter. I mean, I was like drawing. I was drawing when I was 15.
I just realized, do you have paint on your arm?
I do. I just started painting again. And
I love it. She's like, you're like a true
Angry
artist.
It just makes me so happy painting.
Just to have paint.
You want to just leave it there, reminding yourself.
No, I just forgot. I'm just not a clean person.
Norn, I imagine you painting, like, listening to Downward Spiral and painting all black.
That's what
And,
I
like,
was doing. But I love rainbows too. So I was also like drawing cute anime characters and stuff while I was listening to Downward Spiral.
Nice.
So cute.
Yeah, we sound like we have the same.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
two were more
It's the same.
the angsty artists.
Yeah.
Do we have any other angsty artist upbringing groups? No.
No.
Mine's kind of similar, but not like when I was 8 years old. When you said Ace specifically,
Yeah.
that's when I was in Korea.
Okay.
And so, what was the most important for me at that time was a character named Lina Inverse from an anime called Slayers. And I went there not knowing anyone, so I had a really rough time getting along with folks. I got bullied a lot over there.
What?
Because you were American?
Because I was Korean American. So I went to a private private elementary school. It was international school. And so it was still like, they were a developing country, so there weren't that many foreigners. So if you go to that school, it's actually just full of Koreans. And I come in and I was like,
You stuck out.
yeah, basically. So
Wow.
it was kind of hard for me. And so what I relied on is this anime called Slayers. And there was a main character in there called Lina Inverse. And that was the same time.
Great name.
So, same time when Sailor Moon was out. You know how Sailor Moon is like, it's beautiful, they're powerful, but it's also very attracted to men.
Yeah,
male
sexualized.
gaze.
Mhm. Lena Inverse is the polar opposite.
Ooh, I want to see this.
Yeah,
I
she's
wanna see
this really powerful sorcerer. Like, it's an equivalent to, I would say, like Supergirl or like Marvel. Oh no,
Miss Marvel?
Miss
Captain
Marvel.
Marvel.
Yeah, Captain Marvel. Where she's like super powerful. She's very confident. People want to be be in that
You
community.
wanted to be her, huh?
I wanted to be her. Yeah, I was like, I want to be Lena Inverse. She got everything that I want. Yeah,
She's powerful.
she's powerful, and people make fun of her beauty or her look. Beauty.
Oh.
She got no booty. She got nothing. That's why they make fun of her. But she's like super confident. She's like, I like the way I look.
Oh, so you had a good role model.
It was a very good role model at that time. So that's all I could remember because there wasn't much outside of that. And then in high school, 15, I think I was a little bit on the rebellious side.
And you're back in the States?
I'm back in the States, yeah. And I was highly into anime, like Naruto, Bleach. I mean, I was in an Asian community, so like anime was a huge thing.
What's your favorite?
What was my favorite? I think it was Naruto and Bleach. Like they all had like some kind of superpower fighting.
What's
like
the second one you're saying? Bleach?
Bleach. Yeah. So Bleach is like what are they called? They come from a different world and they basically kill like ghosts and monsters.
Aliens?
Paranormal?
Oh.
Creeper, sorcerer.
So you like these fantasy anime?
I
like
love
very
fantasy, action, like
mystical,
power,
And empowering.
Empowering, like overcoming your fear. There's a lot of those. Like people are like jealous of you, or like they want to beat you because they want something out of you, and they always overcome for kindness, like from a good heart.
And were you reading these or watching these?
Watching. I never read manga.
Where did you watch them?
Online.
Oh.
Yeah. There's always a way. There's something called
Subs?
BitTorrent.
What was that?
Were they fan subs, Mariel?
Yes, there were fan subs. You could get it from BitTorrent. You could get it from Crunchyroll. You could get it.
Crunchyroll. When I was like, what was streaming at the time? Nothing was streaming
Nothing
at
was
that
streaming.
point.
Netflix
Not
wasn't
at that
around.
point.
They were
in
just
high
discs.
school.
They're still discs.
Yeah,
Even before that. I don't
Netflix
think.
was like the Redbox back then.
Yeah, it was Redbox when I was in high school. I remember.
People still use
All you
Redbox.
had was fan subs, or you would go to like
Forums?
Sunpost, spend $30 on
Oh.
anime.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what'd you call that store again?
Sunpost.
I remember Suncoast.
Suncoast too. It's like
It's like an artsy, more like connoisseur.
Tower Records?
But nice.
Yeah, but it's
okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we had a VHS store too. Yeah, but anyway, and it was that, and then I also was doing a lot of creative work. Like I was doing stenciling on tote bags back then.
Oh.
Yeah, it was
Like you'd make stencils?
Yeah. So I would be on these forums about like creative work, and then someone took a picture of their tote bag with stenciling, and I was like, that looks really cool. So I used to go to Michael's a lot, and at the same time I was very rebellious.
Where
So
are these bags?
I don't know.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I mean, they're so long ago, but. And then instead of Linkin Park, I listened to Simple Plan because they're always whining and complaining.
I remember Simple
I'm
Plan.
just a kid. Yeah, I used to listen to that a lot.
Oh my god.
Such a loser.
Everybody did that.
Yeah, and all of your friends were doing it, right? Like that.
No, my
least you weren't
friends were
doing
so
drugs.
into like. I have friends who were doing drugs. I have friends who were into like Abercrombie and Fitch.
Oh, those.
Into like girly stuff. I was not. I was skateboarding. Like I was such a
You're the
tomboy.
cool one.
Yeah. Tomboy.
Yeah.
Tomboy, yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit extreme. I used to wear a men's boxer.
Instead of underwear?
No, I was like a style almost. Like, because
Oh,
the baggy pants was like my thing.
You would let it hang
Let it
out.
show a little bit. I don't know. I think I
know
would
exactly.
relate.
Late 90s, early aughts.
Yeah.
with like saggy pants.
It wasn't saggy.
You were like
It was-
TLC.
Yeah. And then in college, 21, I think it was all about opportunities, trying different things, different clubs.
Hustling.
Oh.
Not hustling. 'Cause I was at school. I was at school, so I was trying different clubs, org, sports. I think I was just so in my bubble. So
So trying to explore.
yeah, I was trying to like explore, try everything as much as I can, including like having a part-time job.
Did you find something out of all those things you were doing in their 20s that was like, oh, that's it. That's the thing I want to keep. I found
Keep
something you like.
going?
Yeah, or just like even
Disney?
a hobby.
Oh, that's a good
I don't
question.
know, going somewhere.
I think being active.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, like trying sports. Because like in Taiwan, I did dragon boat.
Yeah.
And
Wait, what?
Dragon Boat.
What is boat races?
Yeah.
The
Oh,
river races.
Whoa, that's so cool.
It was pretty legit. Like we had this international competition, and then like we were actually placed first place. We were first. What do you call it?
First place.
First place.
Yeah.
For a women's team, and among like these international team. It was really cool.
Mariel would be Sporty Spice.
She would be
Yeah,
Sporty Spice.
definitely.
What's that?
Spice Girls. Which actually kind of leads perfectly into my 8-year-old self.
There you go. Woo!
Speaking of, well, so
Me
this
and Becca
morning,
are Posh Spice.
yeah, Norn and I are definitely Posh Spice.
Your baby.
I she totally is baby. I think
You're the
Krystal's
baby.
also Sporty Spice
I don't
as well.
know. I didn't listen to the Spice Girls.
I was at the end of it.
Oh, end of it, yeah. Well, speaking of Spice Girls, so this morning I was like, what was I doing at 8 years old? I was like, that's very specific. And
Yeah.
3rd grade, I was like trying to rack my brain of all the things I did back then, and I called up my parents and I texted
my God.
my friends because I was
Wow.
like, what was I doing? Funny enough, I actually my mom sent me pictures and I had bucket hats like this in it. It came back, and that's really a crazy reality now that we're wearing stuff that I was wearing when I was
Keep talking.
my flyaways. But yeah, when I was 8, I was kind of transitioning out of the young girl phase into like more mature things. So I was still playing. Well, I was a mature.
You were,
I was always
yeah.
like
Ahead.
just maturity wise, but I was playing with American Girl dolls. Was like a big thing for me. I had a computer game that's with American Girl dolls. I also had American Girl dolls. I was really into it.
Oregon Trail.
I love Oregon Trail. But I was also really into like nature and animals. So like I love to collect rocks, and I love to like go on hikes and like collect things. And
You're a
I was
hipster.
I guess, and I really loved animals. Like I really, as a kid, I wanted to be a veterinarian, like most girls or kids, a lot of kids do. But I really loved animals, and so I would draw animals. I was like, and I think we got our first dog at the time, and I was just obsessed with our dog. Like I was just like kind of a little bit of a tomboy. Like I loved to go to the park and just rough it and like collect things and. That's kind of what I did as a child, but
Wait, so you're in Arizona?
yes.
So like,
How does that look?
yes. Like, how does the nature? Like, no, I don't. I've never been.
No, but
my
so it's-
image
yeah,
is desert.
people think
What are those like? Those
Joshua
ball
trees.
things?
Yeah,
that
so
roll?
people think Arizona is like the Wild Wild West. Right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
And it's like you're riding on horses. It's a big city. Like it. Yes,
But like the nature.
the nature. You have more
Like
rocks.
lizards?
You have more. Yeah, you.
That's why she
more,
liked to collect rocks.
I like to collect. I love
easy.
geodes. What's up?
It's a lot like Palm Springs.
It's a lot like Palm Springs. There's geodes. There's lots of cactus. There's lots of different
reptiles.
lots of reptiles. There was these really cool tree in the front yard, and I love climbing trees. Like I was that kid. I loved to climb trees and be adventurous, and so lots of rocks. But we did have a big cul-de-sac park that I would go in. Like it was a big grass.
Okay, like lush and
lush, and it's not always green.
not arid.
Not
just the arid desert.
And
yeah.
it was just brown.
A lot of brown.
Yeah, there is a lot of brown there. The buildings are kind of that color, but no, there was a lot of hiking. Arizona is known for its hiking. It's hot there, but like incredible hikes, and so we did that a lot as a kid and just outdoor. And
Outdoorsy.
it's really funny because everything that I think I like locked onto at that age is like the core of who I am today and what I'm starting to come back to, especially becoming more into plants and like just like being tied more to like the environmental stuff is like really who I am at my core. So it's just funny that kind of that parallel.
Yeah,
It comes kind of full
You're
circle.
the same person.
Yeah, so, and it's interesting because I think that was the last time or that period of time when I was really my true self or into my things I liked. High school, I think, was totally different point in my life, like a lot of socializing with friends. That's when I was starting to explore my leadership or my like
You were
getting
very involved,
in
yeah.
stuff. I got into student council. It was really important to me. I was in like a Jewish youth group. I traveled to Israel, so I was like
It's like leadership.
a lot
It
of
sounds like
leadership.
leadership was a big thing for you
It was
in
a big,
school.
and that's when I think I grasped onto it. And I was like, this is what I like. I wasn't doing as much like film or creative stuff back in high school, but then in college, I went, as I've talked about before on the podcast, I went back to my core self of I really want to get into the film industry. And so I think a big part of it was taking a film minor, focusing on like the jobs and like how to network or how to meet the right people, getting the experience, just blind reaching out to people. And I was also in a programming board as well, and so that was very much like what filled up my time. But yeah, so that's kind of the story arc. Yeah.
I like that though, because I mean, I always think, you know, I've read how your teen years, your coming of age years, like that's the music that you will love
Forever.
because of the age you were when you heard it. And hearing you say when you're 8, like it's just kind of a different, very special part of, you know, part of growing up that your memories
your
are
hobbies,
so...
your loves, like your true passions, I think kind of form at that age.
So Baby Spice.
I don't even know what
Baby Spice Savanna.
Look it up after this.
Okay, so you're the youngest of the group, so I feel like some of your interests might be newer than the things we're used to.
Yeah,
you had more technology than we did.
Yeah.
So
I'm not an iPad baby. She's like, I'm literally 28 years old.
Just a few years younger.
So 8 years old. It was probably the year 2016.
8
What were
years
you doing
old.
then?
1999. No, 2000.
Okay.
No, 2001. 2001.
Y2K. Y2K.
Right
Oh,
before
yeah.
9/11.
Right before
Right,
9/11.
right before 9/11.
So what were you into then?
So I was very active. I liked doing things. I would volunteer. I liked animals, so I would volunteer at the shelter.
8 years old?
Yes. My mom take me to the shelter, walk dogs. I liked horseback riding, so I was part of this horseback riding club where I made my mom let me go. She was not going to let me go. She was scared I was going to get hurt riding the horses, so I begged her for months until she let me join. So it was basically this club where every Thursday we would meet and we'd go horseback riding. But the catch was it was cavalry, so we would literally wear like military, like little, like we would have like a uniform, like black pants, like a yellow shirt, like we would have to polish our shoes.
Like
and our
Do you have the
muscles.
boots, the riding boots?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Like here
Yeah.
comes the cavalry.
Yeah, we would have to polish our brass, like we would have to braid our hair, like you had to look spick and span, like someone, like we would have like
Performance. It's like a
Yeah.
It's kind of like Girl Scouts.
Yeah.
kind of, but it's more like military.
Wait, were any of you Girl Scouts?
I did brownies when I was a kid.
I only did brownies.
I didn't go.
I don't even know what
Krystal,
that
what about
means.
you? Girl Scout?
No.
No.
I think this was my like
parents
tomboy
were too
version of
lazy.
Girl Scouts.
Yeah.
Where like
Horseback
literally like
riding.
we would horseback ride, like we'd have helmets, like we would. If you've ever seen people like doing drills when you're on horses, where you like have a flag and you're like
That's
doing
cool.
choreographed horse things.
Was that like your obsession?
Oh, I was
At the-
obsessed
You're
with
a
it.
horse
Do you
girl?
love horses?
Like
I
Teen
loved
Adult
horses.
Search?
Did you get inspired from like Babysitter's Club or something like?
No,
maybe that's
I was just at school and there was like a thing on the desk, like they had a flyer and I was like, I want to do this.
Were you
That's
Tina?
cool.
No, I wasn't teen. I didn't have horses.
Horses were very popular. I felt like
Like at that time.
at that time and that age,
Yeah.
I was looking up like toys from like the 90s and like it was all horses.
I drew
Yeah.
I drew a lot of unicorns at that.
I drew a lot
I
of
just
horses
loved-
and
I
cows.
loved
at that
animals.
age. I don't like cows,
Yeah.
but they were
Yeah.
similar to
Yeah.
dogs. Yeah.
4 legs.
Yeah.
Something more interesting.
And,
They're
like-
not as sexy as horses.
And my grandpa had a ranch too with like goats and
Oh.
llamas and chickens, so it was just all kind of
That's
like
very
fun.
cool.
So like everyone would go ride horses. We'd have like meets. Not meets.
And
We'd have,
this
like,
is in Southern California also,
Yes.
which
Yes.
is just like,
And then I very quickly became in charge of like all these like little people. So like I was very like attend march.
Do you have pictures of?
I do. I,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
So
Share
that's your
that.
job now.
Yeah, no.
yeah.
Naturally just bossing everybody around. But yeah, literally I was in charge of like this troop of cadets.
Oh
and
my
we would
God.
have like our hair braided. We would have Aquanet. So much, like the moms would braid your hair so tight that your like head would go numb and then they'd
Oh.
spray Aquanet. I remember one time it was raining and there was so much Aquanet in my hair that it just dribbled
melted.
off. No, it just like beaded off my hair. It was intense. So that was like young in
God.
Savannah,
Yeah,
like in the mud, running around in the dirt,
That
having
sounds
fun.
so amazing.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh my god.
it was like in Santa Clarita, so it was just like, you know, kind of wildy west back then too. 'Cause it
Baby
was, like,
Spice on a horse.
Baby Spice on a horse.
That's
And
right.
then in high school, I started, I met my friend Brendan, who's in here.
Oh, thank you,
helping
Brendan.
us.
Thanks for meeting Savannah.
And we started like working on like film projects, so
Call
like I was
Brendan.
really into that. I was obsessed with Twilight and Harry Potter. So
Oh.
Harry Potter actually like his the last movie came out my senior year of high school, so it kind of felt like
You were the same age.
we were the same age. So like
You have friends.
We're actually
Yeah.
the same age as Harry Potter.
Yeah.
it was just came out. Yeah. So like I
monumental,
would go like obsessed. I would go wait outside the movie theater like at 4 like midnight or
you were
midday.
one of them.
I did that
I
too.
did that too.
At the
Yeah.
books, me
Yeah,
and
I
my
did
friend
it.
would go and like sit out front of the Borders bookstore, RIP.
I did that too.
And we would wait for the book. Like I would
I
stay
did
up all
that,
night reading.
yeah.
Like I
You know,
was a huge
the books
reader.
always came out on my birthday, and
Oh,
so I remember I
fun.
used to have friends who would wait in line, get the book, and then come to my birthday party and read it because they were so
I
excited.
thought you were gonna get all the same
Oh,
book
no,
from
no,
everyone.
no,
the
it was
the movies always came out around my
Oh,
birthday, and so I
okay.
remember always going to see Harry Potter on my
For birthday, yeah.
It was always November.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll briefly interrupt. Bye, Krystal. Have a lovely day at work.
Bye, Krystal.
Thank you.
Have a good flight. Miss you.
Yeah.
So I feel like Harry Potter was something like growing up with, but that was like an obsession.
Obsessive.
Or like
And then Twilight also.
Say what house
God.
you're in.
I'm Slytherin.
right.
Um,
So wait, like with that, it was just like you're consuming all the content.
I read
and
constantly. I would
Wow.
read for hours and hours. I would read like 3 books a week in the summer
Wow.
at home.
That's awesome.
I would on top of like water polo, swim practice.
Yeah.
Like,
You were
super
spending a lot.
active.
So
Yeah.
out of like all of those different things, like you and Brendan were making production things, like videoing your own stuff,
Were you making
Twilight, and
I
then
never drew, no.
sketches? No, sketch like.
Oh yeah, we would
comedy.
just like literally. I would be like, I mean, we're in Burbank, so I would literally like be on my bike, like riding my bike to Brendan's house with like a tripod on my handlebars, like across Burbank,
Oh.
and we would go film stuff. I
You
think
still
once
have that?
I have the DV tape somewhere. But actually, one time we were filming in the front of the park, and my friend fell, and I like legit peed myself,
oh my
and it
god.
was so embarrassing.
Do you have Gidget episodes you filmed?
No, I didn't. I was okay. Yeah, so I was obsessively watching like 70s TV shows or 50s or 60s, like
It's 60s.
that era. Well, I was watching like I Love Lucy, Gidget,
Yes.
like Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Those
Gilligan's
are-
Island?
I love all those.
I didn't watch Gilligan.
I watched Gilligan's. I watched all those.
There was like this like this ranch
Two
show.
cops? Two cops with a horse.
No.
Oh, damn.
There was a show. I don't remember what it's called. It was like they were like a
Mr.
family
Ed?
on a ranch.
Mr. Ed, yeah.
Beverly Hills.
Oh, I watched
Beverly
Beverly
Hills.
Hillbillies. I was obsessed with
Waltons?
Beverly Hills. Not the Waltons.
Oh.
It was another show. I was just consuming all media that I could get my little hands on, and I would just read all night, hang out with my friends, go film stuff, go swimming, like just doing
I feel
everything.
like you're a media culture
fun.
buff, though.
Yeah.
You know so much about media.
I love it, and I
yeah.
think that's like a lot of my mom. Like she would always play like 80s or like 50s. Like we would just listen to all the music from like every genre. Like my uncle would have house party. Side note: my uncle would invite me, my 8-year-old, 5-year-old brother, like to his house parties with like adults, and they'd just be drinking wine, listening to like samba music. So like it's just like a lot of like
awesome.
weird
That's
stuff
fun.
like that. Yeah, so just connoisseur of media. And then like when I was in college, I'd say I was just like. I was still, filming, like, I would have my stuff for school that I was filming, but then I was in a club that I also filmed stuff with on the side. I just really liked doing that. I was partying,
Okay,
working.
what was your passion when you were in your 20s? Not so what, because you had a lot of things going on, but, what was the one thing that you were like, I will make time to do this?
I think at that point I didn't have anything, and I think that's why I was doing a lot.
Well, you're looking for
Yeah.
for
You're
your
searching
passion.
for
Yeah,
it.
because, I knew what I wanted to do since I was, 13. I knew
Like
what I
most
wanted
of us,
to
yeah.
do at the end, but I didn't know what exactly I wanted to do. So I was just, exploring things in school, outside of school, hanging out with friends and doing, stuff like that. I don't think there was anything specific that I was, super into. I mean, even now, I think now during quarantine was when I actually, had time to,
Find a hobby?
breathe. I
Yeah.
just overload
Yeah.
myself all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And my plants. I have my roller skating now. I have the podcast. What
Your
else
cats?
do I do? My cats.
Ozzy.
Ozzy, I have to take care of him.
Yourself.
Myself. What do I do? I don't know. I'm not really good at hobbies. I get
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, not even a
Science.
hobby, but I was just wondering because, in my head, making the time to film something with friends or even
major
plan
hobby.
something. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
That's a
that's
hobby.
a dedication
Yeah,
that
that's a
I
lot of
don't
work.
have. But
yeah,
I just
I would be writing scripts in class. I would
so
just be,
yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
Was it somewhere in your mind when you were doing all these things? It kind of seems like the making film making content was always something.
I just like making and consuming things.
Yeah.
Like I just watch. I mean, I'll watch the stupidest videos.
Yeah.
I'll watch like, I'm obsessed with like apartment tours. So I'll like watch apartment tours all the time. Like I'll watch people cooking, but I'm not like a big cooker.
You have a lot of random facts that helps out. Like I think we were chatting about something.
You always like
the tree. Knowing to get free trees or something.
You can get free trees from the city of LA, and I'm sure a lot of cities.
She knew right away. I'm like,
she's like new. Yeah.
Do you feel like a lot of ladies girls watching this are like you, who are consuming, and they want a job in this? Like, what would you say to them? Because you have a job in this now.
I would just say do it. Like
go
stuff.
after
like,
it.
I think the people who were like successful when I was in college, like, were the people who were actually doing stuff in addition to their classwork.
You
like,
have to go out of your way.
I majored in television production.
Do you think people should do that?
I would say if you want to get into the industry, think about it very intensely and what your options are, because would I suggest someone go to an expensive school and get a film degree thinking they were going to get a job? You're not going to get a job.
No.
Nobody cares if you have a degree.
It's about, you have to be passionate, ambitious, really put yourself out there.
My dad been in the industry since the 90s. Like, he literally was like, get a degree, it's your backup plan.
Yeah.
That was my entering college, my backup plan.
Yeah.
I don't think it guarantees you a job. I think
it was specialize later, kind of.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I was in school, and like, I'll bring this up. Brendan again. So he went to the same college as I did, but he dropped out the first year. But then he would come help me on my film projects, and he kind of got like a free education by like helping. Yeah. So like, and he's successful. He has a good job. He does all this other stuff on the side.
He's doing all of this.
He's making this right now.
Yeah.
So I think if you're, and like I said, all the people that I went to college with, like the people who were successful were the ones who are doing it on the side. Like you have. It's a 100%.
100%.
It's a skill that you have to hone and craft. Like, I'm a planner. I like planning things. I've consistently planned things, and it just, like, I was always practicing.
I think things are
Since you were in the cavalry.
Yeah.
Since you were in the cavalry.
I was in the cavalry. And, just, you have to practice and work on your stuff, and I don't think a degree is necessary.
It's kind of like what Quentin Tarantino worked in a video store, and he said his education was just making a movie.
Yeah, and I'm
like the doing.
Learn
and
from
if you
doing.
Yeah, and like I mean, I watched like I Love Lucy, like Charlie Chaplin. Like they didn't have people to.
They didn't go to school.
They didn't go to school. There was no school. Like
you learn from other people on the job. I think the biggest parts in my development or getting into the industry and also just learning about computer science or software engineering was my internships and being involved in like the programming board and like. Literally would have to put on a massive student-wide event for thousands and thousands of people, and there's so many logistics, there's so many different things to account for, and you learn by doing those things.
Education is beyond school.
It is and I think it's always been, but I think more and more, a lot of people are recognizing that just, when they're hiring.
I learned to have an eye in art center, but I didn't learn Photoshop until my first job, and it was like a crash course in Photoshop. Almost.
Learned on the job.
Yeah, so.
I mean, I didn't know anything about animation. Like my background's
I
completely
didn't
different.
either.
Yeah.
I lied, and then I got a job. And
Don't
then
say you lied.
I lied. I lied that I knew shotgun, and I lied I knew this stuff, and then I figured it out.
But it's okay because I think as long as it's you have to have a good work ethic. You have to be passionate about it, and I think that takes you so much farther than someone who may have a formal film degree.
Having that background, you could learn it on that job, but it's all about the soft skills, the other experience that you've developed that you have to bring it to the table, and it's like, how is it different from this generic pool that we are in? Like, how are you
have to stand out, and that's how you stand out.
And having all these things that you learn throughout your years gives you a personality, and you have topics, and you can talk, and you know how to talk to people, and
you're a nice person to work with.
You're a nice person.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I'm enjoying working with all you nice people here on this podcast and learning more.
We miss working in the same building.
I know.
We all miss
working in the same space.
Mary and I get to.
I know. I'm so jealous. You guys get to run into each other.
I used to be able to get lunch with Mariel.
I know.
Now I miss that too.
I miss working with everyone.
When I had such a hard time at the company, I would go see Mariel. She was like the first person.
She would come. She'd be like. It's the first thing she does.
It's a hand.
It's a hand.
And it's like, I have something to say.
Yeah, it's like, want to grab coffee? Okay.
Can we go outside and
We go for a walk around the
Go
block.
for a walk was a
Oh my god, we used to do that all the time.
Yeah, all the time, and I miss that so much.
Well, I feel like we miss our companionship and connections, but we're slowly getting to have that back.
Yeah.
And we also are all still growing and finding new interests and new passions for ourselves. Like, I think that's one thing I like is I would want this to be a continuing conversation because we're always, changing our focus and our interests and things. And it's just interesting to hear how for some of us it really guided us to our careers, or was kind of like training and preparation.
like a training bra? I mean, I want us to be training bra. I don't know. I want us to be a resource for girls like grew up like us.
Yeah.
Who like watched all that TV.
Oh, so much.
Because it's so possible. Like we're
right.
We're like images of what could be you in the future.
So
like
you could do what you love for work.
Yeah.
And I think, especially with Savanna, because I was the same. Like, I watched so much TV. I mean, I feel like I watched different things than you did, but, like, and now it's like I have all those references in my head forever. And, it's not a wasted time.
And also you'll be a fun person to talk to who also has all the references,
Yeah.
TV Land and what was TCM? TV Land, TCM were like my favorite channels.
So I don't know about you guys, but my parents back then, it was like, don't watch too much TV. It's
Yeah,
bad.
mine too.
But is that the case? Is that the new
they didn't
advice?
know. They're like, you're going to ruin your eyes.
But I think it's our generation and culture. That's where culture is now. Media and culture is just so much intertwined.
But we're both kids who had film business families too.
So I think
maybe that was also
I
a
think
thing,
it was like a balance because like I was outside so much that it was like okay.
It's okay
that I
to
was, like,
and I find when I was a kid, my dad would buy me computer games, and so he would encourage that, and that's where I would be able to express those.
And then my dad would take me to like events at the studio he worked at, and like he would go take me to movies, and he'd be like, "Oh, you should watch this movie," and then like we would watch like Bollywood movies on Saturday mornings too, or like he would put on Looney Tunes, and we would watch that. Yeah. So just,
little did my
he was
parents
also
know.
a TV addict when he was a kid too, so it's probably like he was like from Iran sitting watching Looney Tunes all day.
He was passing it on to you.
Yeah, passing it on to me.
But then we have Mariel, who like never saw a movie until you were
Fifth grade? Star Wars.
Yeah, like
I saw Titanic. That was the first one, and then the next one was Star Wars.
Yeah, and then how you said you weren't allowed to watch TV.
No,
and
and then
we're in the same place.
We're all in the same place.
That's true. That's
You know?
true. I mean, my parents thought Simpson was a cartoon for kids, so they would put that on Fox.
See, my dad knew that it wasn't a cartoon for kids, but it was smart enough that I wouldn't get the jokes.
So he was okay with you watching.
Yeah.
That's
It
true.
was like
My parents
all
let me watch
the
it.
jokes went over my head, and then there was like
yeah.
a point where I wasn't allowed to watch it, and then I was old enough to start watching it again.
Wait,
That's really funny.
did you watch it again when you're older and then understand the jokes?
It's so different now.
I love watching stuff later.
I love it. Yeah, I watched.
Clueless was one for me when I watched Clueless as a kid so much, and then when I saw it as an adult, I was like, oh my god, there's so much.
Have you gone back and watched E.T. by the way? Like I loved E.T. when I was a kid.
They're holding guns and stuff.
They're cussing up a storm, and I didn't even know how much like.
They talk about Uranus, the planet. Oh my god.
I've never seen E.T.
Well,
Oh my god, that's like a classic.
I know.
You have to watch it. They painted out all the people with the guns.
I didn't realize that.
Wow. I watched Gilmore Girls recently.
I used to love Gilmore.
Yeah, I was
Oh my
Rory
God.
when I was a kid, and then I watched it again as an adult. I'm like, I feel the mom more now. What's going on?
Oh my god, yeah, you identify with the mom.
It's like I was watching Gidget the other day, and I'm like, that dad is hot.
Well, all the media and culture is like.
I love it.
It's what made us who we are. Like I think like all the movies and all the things now, it's kind of cool to see where we've ended up.
So to our listeners, just keep watching TV. Just keep watching media.
Do what you like to do.
Yeah.
Do what you like to do.
Turn
yes.
off the YouTube.
Turn off the
no
YouTube.
tab.
I love
And start your own YouTube.
Yeah,
How about
there you
that?
I love you too.
Well, 'cause
And we love our listeners. And with that, goodbye.
Lips, not lips out.
No.
No, let's just
We'll
say.
just say, thanks for listening.
Bye.
Find your own passion.
Bye.
Bye.
For more information, follow us on Instagram at Ladies in Prod Podcast, or you can email us at ladiesandprodpodcast@gmail.com.